Okay, so for my next craft, I have some rings like these. They're simple, they're easy, and they're fun to make. So I'm going to tell you how you can make these and the supplies that you're going to need to make them. So let's get started. Okay, so we're back. Now what we have to do is, what you're going to need for this project is a ring mandrel. Now you can find these anywhere, at any craft store, online, at Walmart, at dollar stores, and it should look like this with all the sizes, because if you are making rings, you obviously are going to have rings for different size of your fingers and for other people, because all your fingers aren't the same size, and when you're making them to sell or to give as gifts, you have to know what size other people's ring fingers are going to be. So this is one of the things that you're going to need. That noise is my cat because he's bored and he's using a scratching post. So you'll need a ring mandrel, and you'll need this little rubber mallet because you have to tap the wire just in case it has any kinks, and then you move it down, and I'll show you that. Another thing is you're going to need some jewelry working tools. You'll need your cutter. You're definitely going to need your round nose. And another thing you will need, of course, is wire. This is a 15 gauge wire, and if you choose to use some of these appliques, these are acrylic, plastic little acrylics. They look like that in the back. You use some glue. E6000 jewelry glue is what you're going to use. I'm currently out of it right now, or I'll show you the tube, and that's what I use to affix it there. And you will need a nail file, emery board, anything that you have like that, even your Dremel if it has that, but you don't really need that. You could just use one of these cardboard ones, okay? And this is going to be because when you're winding these up, if you're going to keep it like this and not glue an applique or something over it, you might get scratches from your tools working the metal. And to smooth it out, you would just go like that, and it smooths it out. And then you wipe it, and it looks nice again. So that's just an option, but if you're careful and you don't do that, that's okay. But you don't need that option if you're going to put one of these acrylic gemstones on there, or bead, whatever you'd like. So what we're going to do for this project is we're going to get some wire. Now you want to get enough, okay? And again, you can use any gauge you want, but this is kind of a thicker gauge, which is what I prefer. And so we're going to take our cutters, get a nice long piece, okay, and then straighten it out. Now if you want to practice making these, you can get spools like this. You can get spools like this at Home Depot and Lowe's, at any hardware. I also got like an 18 gauge. This one's a little messy. I was using it before. And all this is, it's aluminum wire that it's for like welding wire and things like that, see? And it was like between $11 and $12 for a giant spool. And this one was full too, and I've had these for 4 years. And when I was first learning how to do wire jewelry, I used that to practice. Okay? And you can make a bunch with that. And what you can do is, sometimes it's a little sooty, so just get like a paper towel with some rubbing alcohol and wipe down the piece that you cut, and then you won't get the little black sooties. Okay? So the next thing you're going to need, now of course you can use craft wire, sterling silver, whatever you prefer for this. But if you're practicing, you might want to get that because it'll last you. So now you're going to get your ring mandrel and you're going to place it where the sizes are. And you're going to tightly wrap it. See how I did that? And I wrapped it 3 times and then have a piece like that. Because those are the pieces you're going to wind. Now you're going to smush it and make it tighter. Now you can get it out. It's going to look like that. So I have these. They're different sizes for my finger. Well, say I want to make one for this one. This one's a fatter finger than these. This finger is bigger than this finger, than this finger. I don't know why. It's like a 7 and then 7.5 and then 8. Okay? So now if you were to have any kinks in the wire, like see how that's a little bent, you would just tap it and it'll go like that and move it down to tighten it. And make sure you pull it. And then go like that. Alright? So I'm going to have, you want to have these in reverse. See how one is curled this way and one is curled the other way? Now if you're going to put a gemstone, acrylic gemstone or a bead, then you don't have to worry about how perfect that's going to be. But you might want to leave it on here. Now we don't need that much for this curl. So I'm going to cut that and then I'm going to take my round nose and I'm going to go up with that. So you're going to, so if you can see what this looks like, this I'm going to go up this way, not down, up. So I'm making sure it's on. If you're going to make these to sell or give as gifts, you want to make sure you got the person's ring size. Or if you're just making a bunch of different sizes, make sure you're where you want. You're going to start with your round nose plier making a tight little loop. So you want this beginning part to be as small as possible. Okay, because it's got to be tight. Now, you just want to roll, just keep rolling. You might get a rough start, you might not be perfect. I haven't done, and then you want to keep going. To start it, you can start it on the ring mandrel and then you can just work it like this. Now sometimes I use my flat nose pliers and I go like this and then I work it. I just like gently and I go around and I do that. And I just keep, sometimes I get a bit of grip. See, it's not perfect, but I'm gonna put a gemstone now. If you're going to leave them like this, you want it a little, you want to do a better job, okay? So you see what I mean? That's how it's kind of gonna look. And you're just gonna keep working it. And that's why I like the flat nose, because I can go like this and I can keep that wire flat. And you can do this on the ring mandrel as well. You don't have to remove it off the mandrel. And we're going to put it back on the mandrel. Okay, so there it is. And it's on the mandrel. You want to make sure that you pull this piece up and you want to make sure it's going to be tight. Now, as you can see, there's 2 there, and then that goes wrapping. You could do whatever you want with these. You can do 2, 3. You can go all the way up your finger. You could, for instance, make a smaller one that only goes like that, like a ring cuff for up to your finger. You can make it go up like this so it covers your fingernail. If these get misshapen, you just put them back on your ring mandrel and use your little rubber mallet and hammer it. That's what I like about that. You can certainly sell these. I wouldn't know if you could get much for it, you know, but if you're wanting a lot of inventory for the holidays and you just want some things there, then you could sell these for like $2, $1. just for extra stuff, and you can pretty them up. You can take your time with them. And these were just for me, and I was just having some fun with it, so, you know. But they look nice on. So once you got this part, now it's this one. So you want to pull and then do that. Now this one's curled up, so this one's gonna, so we curled this one upwards, this one's going to be curled downwards, okay? So we're going to cut the excess off. So we don't need that much. And what I do, it's a little tip, I keep like a little plastic cup and I throw my bits and pieces when I'm doing jewelry where I'm having wire, because there's always an incident here where I have to cut and throw something away, and it's better than having little pieces all over the place and a mess, and it keeps it clean. And this way it doesn't go on the floor and my cat doesn't eat it, because somehow he always finds the little pieces of wire that fall. And I'll be on the floor looking. So now we're going to go down with this one because this one went up. So now you could either take it off the ring mandrel or you can keep it on. I'm going to take it off, and so you're going to get your round nose pliers, and remember the middle is going to be tiny. You don't want a huge spiral, okay? And don't panic if it doesn't look perfect. You're going to have to practice if you're not used to making the spirals. And again, you can cover it with the acrylic. So that's why I'm not the best at doing those either. And I prefer using this. And you just like work it. My cat's having a good old time over here playing with his mouth. He knows I'm making a video and he wants to get in it, but I told him it's not that kind of video where I'm in it. When I'm crafting, I'm usually a mess, so I don't want to go on camera. Now, if you misshapen your wire, don't panic. You could fix that on the ring mandrel. So now I have that problem, and I'm going to go in, I'm going to fix it, and then I'm going to continue. Like I said, some people are better at this than others. And don't beat yourself up if it looks kind of crappy the first few times. So you're going to go like that. Now that one didn't come out as nice as the top. Now I'm going to put it on the ring mandrel. And I'm going to hammer it with my mallet. Flatten it. So now it's starting to look a lot better now that I did that. And I'm going to take it off. You want them to kind of face the front as much as you can. And you can bend the curve and do whatever. So now, if you like the way your spiral came out, but you hate the way your other spiral came out, I have smaller ones of this. But let me see if I can find them. So I would take the little glue and a toothpick and put it on one, and then you could have a spiral left on the other. You don't have to put your acrylics on both. So that's that. It's really simple. You can keep shaping it. If you get a weird bend like that, just put it back on the mandrel, hit it with the mallet. So what you would do is you take a toothpick, you put a little E6000 glue on here or the back of your acrylic, and then you would place it on here and then affix it the way you want it, and then let it sit overnight and dry, because E6000 glue takes about 24 hours to really be dry, but about in 2 to 4 hours it's pretty much secured and dry. But what I like about that is it gives you some time to move it around in case it shifted and you didn't notice it. And that's it. So it's really easy. And like I said, if the spiral doesn't come out at first, mess with it, practice. You could also say I didn't like the way that one came out, right? I cut that top spiral, but I like the way that one. You don't have to have that. You can go ahead and go in and then use the rest of whatever and make like a little dip or a little spiral or whatever you want with that. You can even add beads to it, or you could do something like that to it, like a little round part, like a tail, so it looks like a snake. And then another thing you can do, and I'm going to make sure that the light's on here. Another thing you can do is you could add beads while it's on the mandrel so that it's spinning, so that it's all around, and then you could either leave the spiral or put one of the acrylics on it. That's it. There's nothing to it. You could play around, do your own style. You can make bracelets like that, and they're fun. They're just for fun, really. Of course, the more time you take and the more you practice, the better you get, the nicer they come out. And I like these. I wear them whenever I want to get them back in shape. Sometimes they may get caught on your clothing because the parts that stick out. And then I just stick them back here and get my little mallet. And that's what it looks like. And that's it. So if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. And if you haven't checked out my other DIY videos, please look for my DIY playlist. It's my second playlist on my channel. And check out all the other DIYs. So I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching.